How is it now? Should be better. Okay, without the sound was also fine. So hello everyone. I'm just figuring out again how to work with all this stuff. And yeah, it took some time, you know, once again, to put all these codes, all this stuff into the OBS. Even scheduling the live stream wasn't as easy as I planned it to be. You know, you shouldn't make breaks like in chess, you know. You shouldn't. Just no breaks. Okay, today there is a change in the drink. There is a coffee instead of tea, but tea is there as well as a support. So okay, my voice is low now. What's going on there? Let me see. Okay, we'll just increase it a bit. Is it better this way? How is it? Well. I don't want it to be too loud as well, because I'm not going to shout here. Seems fine. Let me just increase it a bit and see if it works. Seems to be okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's coffee today. Let me see the messages. Yeah, all good. I'll try to say less of that, because I see that I'm saying too many in general, and guys and all this, all good stuff. Thank you very much for a lot of messages that I've received throughout this time. You know, I was not streaming, but I received so many messages for people waiting for me to stream. And I think there is a tournament starting from tomorrow as well in St. Louis. Is it? So yeah. So probably I'll see if the time suits. Should be okay to stream this tournament. There is even Fisher random, something else, some rapid or something, right? Organized by St. Louis Chess Club. So, okay, 55,000 messages as well here, there, and here, and so on. So today I wanted to look at the game against Caruana. Actually, I wanted to analyze it on my own, and I didn't have enough time exactly for this, because there was Olympiad, also some preparations for that, and so on. And yeah, now let me see. I will just put some engines and we will look at it live. Just thinking which engine to take. So okay, this one. Yep. Okay. So, doing it on Lichess in a dark mode, what do you think about it? Dark mode on Lichess? Yeah. Okay, the news. For the news, yeah. Also, a few other things. Some things to share. So one thing is that if you remember, there was this 48 accounts by Chess24 with 3 months premium membership. I think 40 out of 48 are already added, and later on in the community post I will share the nicknames, but probably some of you that got this premium memberships into your accounts, they already certainly saw it. But anyway, I'll publish the nicknames. But I need just 8 more to be confirmed, and I'll put the the entire link there, like not the link but the entire list there with the names, with the nicknames, and so on. So waiting for that. Just a confirmation from Chess24 that they have added everything. I think they confirmed that they have added 40 up to now. So regarding the other news, which are much more exciting for me, and I hope for you as well, but not for all of you at the moment, because at some point there will be some more exciting things there. But now we're just planning to make some few sessions there and see how it goes for the academy that I'm launching. And the site is almost ready. The courses are almost done, and yeah, I'll try to share it in some other of the streams, because I want to share it together with the site. But it was supposed to be ready for today, but it will take a few more days, I think, and then I will also share the link to it, to the Chess Academy. And yeah, hopefully we will do a lot of stuff. I think that we will also I mean, I will also talk to you, of course, and we will see what things we can launch there on basis of that. And also I want to make some charity stuff as well there, of course. But beside that, of course, there will be a professional stuff that the coaches will do some things and so on. In no way it's a competitor to any other sites or the platforms. It's just kind of dream that I had throughout my career to make the one. But for now, it's due to the pandemic, it's the online academy for the moment. It will be online, and later on I am planning to launch it like physically to have some you know, whatever place where it can be launched in Baku first, and one other place. I will tell you later about it. Hopefully it works, and yeah, let's see. So for me it's very exciting, because it was like kind of thing everybody was hoping for at some point. I mean, especially this the amateur chess players and also the chess players, the public in Azerbaijan. And for now I cannot launch it physically, as I said, because of the pandemic, so not sure how things work there. Even the schools are kind of problematic for now, so we will see how it works. And yeah, so it will be online, and then we will see, and hopefully, I'm sure if everything goes well, it will be a physical academy here and in one other place outside Azerbaijan to make it more international, I would say. And I know the place, I know the city, I know how to do that, I know how to launch it, having plans, and hopefully we will do it, and it will be easier for everyone, for European nations, for US, for Asians, and so on. This is one of the favorite locations of more or less everyone in the world that I know from different countries. And yeah, it's a cool place. It's hot there as well. So we will see. So this is exciting. I don't know if it's as exciting for you as it is for me, because it was a dream to do that. But I can see that there is a no. There are a lot of yeah. There are right answers already in the chat. I see for the city, but it's not Nashik. No, it's not Nashik. Nashik is you know, monopolized by the Vidit, the Vidit, I would say, the Vidit, the Gujarati. He monopolized Nashik, and there we have only one business with him, which will be the Sula winery business. And yeah, so happily, yeah, I think we will also do a lot of stuff together. At some point, we'll find some ideas to make it, you know, mutually beneficial, of course, and also some stuff that we can do together with him and with other players, of course. Anish is always. I will be always happy to have Anish there if he agrees, you know, to help with some stuff. So it will not be the like kind of Teimur Radjabov Chess Academy. It will be by me, so by Teimur Radjabov. So yeah, I'm not feeling that I'm the world champion or somebody that can just say or name the academy in my name something. So yeah, it's clear about it. So it will be an academy by Teimur Radjabov, and we will hopefully succeed on that. Even if not, it's a good try. and I'm happy that this project is coming into life. Okay. Yes, the first one. Shihi Yusubov is asking why not in Baku. No, the first one and the main one, of course, and the company as well is registered in Azerbaijan and Baku, and the academy, the physical one, will be first one will be in Baku, and just the other one, probably the international one, will be in another city, and that's it. Of course, mainly we start and we do everything in Baku, Azerbaijan, of course. Yeah. So, but I want to make a big international academy, which will also be beneficial for the talents around the world, and of course, first of all, in Azerbaijan. So I'll think about bringing some of the talents like completely free for some of the important sessions that are probably quite expensive, let's say, to pay for the young talents and so on, and hopefully they can learn there and improve and so on. Yeah. Also, we'll try to make some master classes on basis of this academy and so on. So good. Let's go. So let's see the Caruana game. Hopefully, can you say in the chat if we do it on Lichess with dark mode? Is it okay? What do you think about it? Just tell me, and I'll try to set it up. Okay, let's go for that. So let me try the Lichess. Yeah. Yup. So. It's good now? It's fine, right? Okay, let me check the board. Yeah, guys, we will talk about the candidates as well a bit later. Let's just do something else rather than talking, because I want to do some chess as well. For those who ask for the board to get it a bit down, I think it's fine. I think it's really fine. And I'll just reverse it, so flip the board, because we're looking at my game. I was playing as black here, and it's a King's Indian, so let's look from this side, especially that that we want to see some of the King's Indian, so it's proper to do it this way. So let's go. Let's go. No, I don't want. No, not. Thank you so much. I don't want to put the names and notations. It's Caruana against me. I will mention it 55,000 times as usual, and it's fine. It's fine. It's a dark mode, guys. Yeah, it's a dark mode now. You don't want the engine bar, or you want the engine bar. I think the engine bar should stay there. Anyway, I'll tell you the better stuff, better evaluations than the engine bar, because I'm looking with the better engine simply. Oh, you want the names? Okay, you don't need the bar, right? Guys, candidates we will talk later. Just the engine. Okay, no engine bar. Okay, let me take it off. Take it out there. Yeah. So let me see. How can I do that? Now it's fine. Yeah, okay, let's go. Yep. So, d4. Once again reminding you that it's my game against Caruana. I'm playing as black here, and Caruana is white. So it's the King's Indian defense from the Chessable Masters. Rapid game. Actually, was a very important game to qualify. I was playing good on that day. Before I was not doing that well, like the previous day. So this was the chance to win the game. So I went for the King's Indian. So knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6. You know, in these tournaments, It's very hard to prepare as well, because you are like playing a lot of rounds per day, and you certainly don't know what your opponent will do. You already forget at some point who are you playing, with what color, with which color, and it's kind of complicated to prepare. So you prepare for like first or second game more or less, and then it goes as it goes. Especially some results also affect the opinion choices and all that stuff, and so on. So yeah, so in this case, I mean, I've just decided to go for the King's Indian because I thought it will be a good surprise, and the fighting try for this game, and certainly was sure that Fabiano will also fight hard. So it's a good choice for actually both. Yeah, so h3, castle short, knight g2. This is kind of strange setup, I can say. I mean, it's not supposed to be the great setup for white, because combining this knight g2 and h3 is kind of strange. Only thing is if black goes for some kind of e5, d5, and then it can be useful because white can just go g4 and play knight g3, and then you can say, yeah, it was nice try to put the knight on e2, knowing that the structure in the center will be closed, and then you go for this knight g3, then bishop e2, then you can, as the g4 will not hang anymore. Okay, just let me show you this. So d5, say black goes for some a5, which is natural as well, g4, let's say knight a6, knight g3. So knight comes there. Now the only problem of white is that they cannot really push g5 or h4, h5, so they have to protect first g4, and say black goes for knight c5, white can go bishop e2, and then the point is that g4 is now protected, and h-pawn can roll there on the flank, and the h5 is coming at some point, and black is kind of restricted with their counterplay. They're not on time to play f5, they're not on time to really smash something in the center somehow, like some c6 is possible, but it doesn't change much. Even the slow play with bishop e3 is possible for this. Slightly better for white. And that's why after knight g2 I was not going to play e5, which is a possible move, of course, but probably after d5 already you can, I don't know, maybe go for h5 or something, preventing g4, possibly. Or, yeah, I guess h5 would be a kind of move here that you want to make. Sorry if there are, do you hear the sounds that come there, or how is it? Yeah, because I can hear a lot of sounds, but it's like, it's my family there. They're talking and like shouting all the time. So it's fine, yeah? Yeah, imagine like if I went to some, I don't know, kindergarten or somewhere, and there are a lot of noises. Like if I'm in a park, imagine I'm in a park. Yeah, simply. You can't hear. Oh, even better, even better. Okay. So in this position, oh, there was Anish there. Was he there? Anish is looking at everything that, everything that happens in chess, Anish sees it, following it, even if he doesn't need it at all. Just professional. A professional should be like that, guys. Yeah. Clearly. AGs everywhere. AGs everywhere. He's actually preparing now for the candidates that we're going to talk about a bit later. Oh, that Anish, that was about the okay, beside this 48 accounts by Chess24, it was about the I mean, that was the technical thing, but about the the academy, the launching the academy. And the site was supposed to be ready for today, so I wanted to share it with the site together, but the site probably will come in the next stream or in the community post. Yeah, and that was the thing, yeah, because it's exciting thing for me, and yeah, dreamt about it for a long time to make one, but there was no time to do that. But now, in the pandemic and lockdowns, the YouTube is there, the academy will be there, probably something else will be there, but everything we'll of course share with you. I will not say this word. I will not say this word. I will say friends instead. Share with you friends. Yep. Name of the academy I'll say together with the site. Otherwise it's just what is Dosto? Share with you Dosto. What is Dosto? Dosto ravno friends. Okay, so Dosto is equal to friends. Oh, but the Dost is a friend in Azeri. So in Azerbaijan, if you say Dost, is a friend. Yeah, so same. Yeah. Yeah, Dost is a friend in Azerbaijan. Yeah, in Azerbaijani language, yeah. So I was kind of surprised that it's the same, yeah. Same language OP, Anish says, yeah. Same language OP, that's true. So let's see bad play by both Caruana and me. And we have to look at the game. Okay, Dosto is plural. Okay, I see. Dostlar is plural in Azerbaijan, so in Azeri, and Dost is like just one friend. Yeah, like Anish. Yeah, Anish is Dost, and Anish and Visit are Dostlar. So it's I'm a teacher as well now, as I can see. Okay, guys, let's go. Let's see the game, because otherwise it will become some kind of Duolingo or whatever it is. Let's see. So maybe here h5 is possible. Anyway, I don't like this setup. Don't play like this as white. Even if you see Caruana playing this, doesn't mean anything. Just wants to play something and play chess. Yeah. So I don't know why I didn't go e5 here, d5, maybe h5. But okay, white can also go for g3 or stuff like that. A lot of things here, actually. But it's just a playable position for both sides. Okay, instead, after knight g2, I was in a super creative mood. And even e5, let's say d5, even knight f d7 is one of the possibilities to play immediately for f5. I don't know, it's hard to say what's the best. But probably black is just okay in this line. So knight g2, I went a6, I don't know why, just for fun. I wanted to either play for c5 and b5 or just play for c6 and b5. He went knight g3. h5 is always not a bad idea in this type of lines, you know, with the knight on g3. You can always go h5, h4 even, or you just play h5 and after some bishop e2, let's say, if white goes somewhere for castle short, you can go h4. And then the knight will have to go to h1, which is not really nice. And black can, you know, exploit this by attacking the center meanwhile. So this is kind of useful here, maybe h5. I just went c6, which is not the best way to play these lines usually, to play a6, c6. The point is simply, the point being is that, you know, this c6, a6 is not really fighting for the center. And the main problem of the King's Indian is the center, is that you give up the center here. So c4, d4 and d4 should be undermined in some way, either e5 or c5 or whatever. So in case you go a6, usually you go for c5 next. But yeah, I just went for c6. Just was trying to develop as quick as I can. Let's see if c5 is something here, d5, b5. CB, but these positions are certainly playable. This kind of a better version of Volga gambit. Comp even suggests h5 here again to have this h4 in the not so distant future. Let's say this, Takes, takes, and queen a5. Black should have a compensation here. I don't know if it's enough or not enough, but it doesn't matter. Practically sure it's enough for the counterplay and for the interesting battle ahead. So that's possible. So instead I went c6. Very creative, but not the best. Bishop d3. Bishop e2 is also possible instead. Then maybe b5. Yeah, let's see what happens here. b5. Castle short, let's say. Some knight bd7. Actually, black is not having a bad position. The point is that this h3 and knight g3 is simply not the right way to play it. And in this case, I guess there are a lot of lines that black can choose and just get a lot of setups that black can choose and get a really good position, decent chances to fight in this middle game. Even you see a6 doesn't seems to be bad. Doesn't seem to be bad at all. So yeah. So Caruana went bishop d3. Now it's funny what Compi suggests here. So let me see the chat as well, because you know I cannot do long without the chat. I need the chat all the time. See what people are writing there, talking about, and so on. Why is this so passive? What do you mean? Partodia, what do you mean? Why is this so passive? Which one? The black's position or what? Yeah, Sachin Rice says black is looking passive a bit. Yeah, because they didn't undermine the center, as you can see. But it's also possible to play like this. Not the best way, probably, but black is kind of preparing to undermine the center with e5 or some kind of, you know, b5 taking on c4, then d5 or all that stuff, or c5 maybe later. So let's see. For example, here in this position, competitor's suggestion is very interesting. So he suggests to go knight fd7, attacking d4. Actually, what is funny is that it's not so easy to defend this d4 pawn. So, for example, one of the lines that Compi suggests here is bishop e3, then queen b6, immediately attacking the center. Now b2 and d4 are hanging, and not so easy to defend it. So knight a4, queen a5. Queen c7 is also possible, with the idea to play b5 and c5 and all that stuff as usual. So now b4 somehow is the best move by Compi. Queen b4. Bishop d2. Some queen a3. It's just a draw, guys. Yeah, it's simply a draw. So bishop c1, queen b4, bishop d2. So it seems that, you know, this knight fd7 is simply a nice move here. Just very nice move here, probably. Black is ready for b5. Black is ready for c5. Black is attacking d4. Let's say, what about knight fd7, some knight g2, let's say, which would be kind of natural to defend the pawn. You know, with all this kids shouting, there's my daughter and her friend there in the house, and I feel like Rishuk now. You know, he has all this kids shouting there when he's commenting on something. So same here now. So b5 is possible, and also c5 is fine. Black is completely fine, it seems. c5 is next, and after d5, knight can come to e5, attacking this bishop and the pawn on c4. Black is just doing really nicely, and there is no attack against the king. There is no this h4, h5, or g4 attacks there on the flank. Just completely fine for black, it seems to me. Just completely fine. So this is really nice, this knight fd7, I think. It's not a bad move at all. So instead I went more natural one. Didn't expect knight fd7 to be good here. Went knight bd7. Castle short. b5. Okay, the whole idea of playing c6 and a6 was to play b5, so it's time to play b5 finally. Oh yeah, so here let me see this one. So b5, bishop e3. Now Compi suggests bishop b7, which is also nice, yeah, just to develop this one. Then maybe some kind of queen c7 as well, or e5 is coming. Instead I went e5, so it's more natural. d5. Already I guess it would be nice to go here b takes c4, bishop c4, knight b6, attacking this. And now b3 maybe would be the move. And position is really unclear. Even if black just takes there and plays even c5, the position is unclear, I think. The knight e8 and f5 is possible. But also there is knight c4, bc, c takes d5 that Compi suggests. Seems that black is just completely okay here. Instead, I don't know why, but I decided to take c takes d5, c takes d5, and knight c5. Probably I wanted to play kind of for a win, not to really exchange many of the pieces, keep play on both flanks. So I went this, knight c5, bishop c2. Probably b4 is the better move here, just before, to avoid any b4, a4 as happened in the game. You know, driving the knight back to d7 or b7, wherever it goes. But on d7, I guess. So instead, maybe b4 was possible. I was afraid of this knight a4, then maybe some knight fd7. I don't know. Rook c1, then maybe taking on c5 somewhere. White can also maybe go rook e1, put the knight on f1, e3, c4, establishing kind of, you know, the outpost there on c4 and having slight advantage. So I decided to keep the tension there on the flank. So knight e8, b4. Compi now likes white, knight d7. But in King's Indian, you know, it's not the end of the world if Compi likes white, because it likes it even from the beginning. So it doesn't matter, it's just playable. Very hard on the high level, of course, because if everybody prepares against you, then you kind of get tricky positions from the opening, out of the opening. But generally, I think on the club level, and yeah, I mean, okay, I'm even playing it on a high level, but if we're talking about the objective side of the opening, because kind of tricky when the opponent is very well prepared and tries to pose you some problems. And otherwise, it's anyway nice to play it, I think, on the club level. And I mean, if you feel that you can surprise your opponent as well, even on the high level, if you surprise your opponent, you see, let's say, Caruana reacts was not the best way of playing against the King's Indian. Simply one of the best players in the world. So also this evaluation, as I said, means not much, because, you know, it's always unclear. Some f5 is coming, whatever, it's like plus 0.60 to white, and so what? Let's see what happened. So knight takes a4 was probably better move here. Then black can go some rook b8, queen d2, knight c7, bringing the knight to b5. Engine suggests it's slightly better for white. I think it's quite playable. So certainly engine is more right from mathematical point of view, and from practical point of view, I think that my evaluation is right, and position is simply playable. Nothing too bad for black. So bishop takes a4 was played in the game. Instead, rook b8. It's more natural to take with the bishop, because bishop can come here, also attacking d7, and so on. Yeah, so bishop a4, rook b8. And now, maybe for white was the best to go for some bishop c6. As I said, seemed to be an idea of bishop a4. But now let's say bishop c6, queen, rook takes b4. Maybe knight a2, rook b8. It's hard to find things like this during the game. Let's say this and this. But it seems that this pressure on the flank compensates fully for the pawn. Doesn't mean that white is really doing better. Slightly better probably, but still a lot of play by black here, like knight c5, f5 is coming. So very unclear position. Instead, Caruana decides to exchange the pawns here, b5. Also a good move, knight c5, attacking the bishop. Not being afraid of bishop takes c5 exchange, which usually is kind of dangerous, because it creates the pass pawn on d5, a protected pass pawn, a very strong one. But in this case, if white just takes, then d takes c5, and knight comes to d6, and the 5 is always there in the air. Position is okay for black, it seems to me. So, yeah. I mean, one of the lines can be this. Rook e1 and knight d6, completely protecting against all the kind of, you know, penetrations here by white, like coming to b5 or whatever on c4. c4 is completely protected, the best place for a white's knight in this kind of structure. So the knight, even if it comes here, doesn't threaten to go to c4. f5 is in the air. Black's position is quite solid with a lot of trumps like f5 in the air. So this, I think, was suitable for me. He takes b takes a6 instead. Bishop a6, rook e1. Here I took on a4, which is probably not the best move. Maybe the best was to play bishop c4, going for bishop b3 and trying to bring the knight to d4, let's say like this. Knight to d4, around equal here. So this was the best, I guess. I took on a4. I saw that I can just take there, leave this flank without the weaknesses, because the main problem of King's Indian for black is that you have the weaknesses on the queen's flank somewhere here, like all these pawns that are going to be attacked. Let's say this b7 a6 with this pawn on d6 like now, and white is having also like b4 a4 whatever. They put the pawn on a5, then they bring the knight to a4 to b6, they go b5, they kind of attack all this b7 a6 chain or b7 a7 chain, b7 a7 pawns, and this becomes usually problematic for black if they didn't launch the play on the king's flank. In this case, I saw that I can take on a4, as it happened in the game. Rook takes a4, but queen a4 was better, and probably that's right. Queen a4, then the bishop moves here, and then rook b1, trying to take some space here on the flank, and takes, let's say, and you know, you are threatening already some kind of bishop b6, knight b5, all this stuff. It was, I think, better for white to play this. Still very unclear, because, I mean, even here, black can go f5, and position is really unclear, but it was a bit better for white to play this. So instead he goes for rook a4. Just let me show you the idea of mine, because I wanted just to bring the bishop to c8 and just play for f5. So you see, compared to the usual positions in the King's Indian, I don't have these weaknesses on the flank. He doesn't have too many direct ways to penetrate, like knight a4 b6 or bishop b6 or whatever, or rook c1 sometimes is there, and the queen goes to c2 and goes to c7. Nothing is there that much direct, so I saw that why is my position so bad? I can just go for f5 and play on the flank, where I don't have too many reasons to be afraid for the queen's flank, so I'm just playing on the king's flank without any doubts. And I have two bishops, there's a bishop pair, so why should I care? But certainly white is having a good center. These pawns are still restricting the King's Indian bishop. So here he could go for queen d2, trying to meet f5 with the usual e, f, g, f, and f4. This is the usual way to play against this structure, just play f4. Sometimes e4 is good for black, sometimes e4 is not that good for black. Here it's black can do without it for the moment, and play some kind of queen h4, let's say, or something. But if they go for e4, then the knight will come back, the bishop can be exchanged on g7, the knight can go to d4, the other one maybe to e3 or rook to e3, whatever. So the position is really unclear. Instead of queen d2, he goes rook a7. So f5, e, f, g, f. Also, don't forget that usually in the King's Indian, you don't take with the bishop on f5. This is usually not so good, because you give up the e4 square, and then normally it becomes a big trump in in white's position. So they go on e4 and they go f3, and then from there the knight attacks d6, always ready to jump to g5 and e6, and black is not having too many counterplay chances on the king's flank because of this the pawns are kind of restricted. No, not restricted, but they're kind of not, the structure is not flexible enough for black. So in this case, with the pawn on f5, they can always go for f4 or e4, and here there is a blockade on e4, and the bishop is very bad on g7, kind of stupid there. So usually you don't take with the bishop on f5, and normally when you go f5, always look after this e takes f5, g takes f5. This is important. So g takes f5. Knight h5 is possible, but doesn't threaten anything because the knight is there. If you can see there, the knight is protecting the g7 bishop, so knight takes g7 is not a threat. So f4 is just possible here. Let's say bishop d2, some bishop h6, 7, and queen comes to g5. It's very, very unclear. Rook b7 can be exchanged, the rook there, or maybe this one. So position is just fine for black. So actually, it's what he went. Yeah, knight h5. Yeah, is what he went. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, it's what he went. But yeah, instead the compy suggests that maybe after g takes f5. Oh yeah. So let me see. Oh, I have the one of the notes here is yeah. Okay, so knight h5 and yeah, f4. Instead of knight h5, I wrote bishop d2, somehow promoted it. Okay. Yeah, bishop d2 didn't happen in the game. Bishop d2, I was looking at the game like in light, like very fast, and didn't really analyze it, just so the most important moments, super fast. But here I just want to analyze it with you, as I said in the live session, and we're doing this, but I have a few notes here like really irrelevant, because for example, I see that after knight h5, f4, I put just as a good move. I didn't even check the staking on f4 that we will see now. So bishop d2, kind of preparing for f4. Now maybe knight f6 is possible, let's say. It's around equal, I mean dynamically equal. Certainly you cannot call this position completely equal or dead draw, because there is so much play here. d5 is hanging, potentially maybe black's d6 is hanging somewhere. Maybe you know, f4 is kind of an attack, but also white can go for queen c1, trying to go for bishop h6 and bishop g5 stuff. Well, so it's really unclear. So knight h5, and here, yeah, of course I wanted to play f4 in the game, and I didn't, and I went instead bishop h8, creating the super duper amazing position with all of my pieces being on the 8th rank. Look at this. Look at this masterpiece. Wow. Wow. Let me see the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, wow, and the most wow is that it's not losing for black. It's just an okay position. I mean, okay in terms of it's a playable position. It's not lost. It's nothing. It's just all of the pieces there. There are how many? 7 pieces. 7 pieces are all on the 8th rank, and position is not lost at all. And to tell you the truth, I was not even thinking about it during the game. I just realized it after I went bishop h8. Not at all. It was a kind of art that I wanted to create on the board. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I wouldn't go for this beauty with bishop h8 and I would go just f4. I can see now, and also computer suggests this, that I was afraid, of course, not of bishop d2, otherwise I would happily go f4 to close this potentially dangerous bishop with some active moves in the air, like bishop h6 and so on. And I was afraid of bishop f4, sacrificing this. Now the point is that if you go ef4, knight g7, rook e7. And this is really dangerous for black. Because, you know, the support is coming, the rooks are just tremendous there on e7, completely dominating black's position. So e takes f4 is not the move. The way to play here would be rook takes f4. So knight f4, ef. And now, guys, you know, I think that it's quite dangerous maybe for black, practically. So, for example, one of the moves is knight e2, just attacking this one. The knight can come to f4 or d4. Or there is, let's say, maybe queen a4 as well. Attacking the knight, attacking the f4. not caring about c3 at the moment. Also possible. Trying to take on f4 next. Then maybe some bishop f5, defending this one by opening up the rook there. But, you know, yeah, very, very unclear. Very unclear. Queen f4, bishop g6. Black is having two pieces for the rook. Certainly the bishop pair plays some role in terms of being not that bad for black in this position. But I don't know if I would be happy to play this position over the board. I think I was afraid of this one. Especially this knight e2 is annoying. Maybe a knight d4 idea, knight f4. Bishop f5. Knight d4. You have to see this from far, which is not so easy at all. This queen g5, let's say here. Well, you know, you see this rook e7 coming. Now Compi says there is some kind of queen c3 and then rook e7. I don't know why queen c3. But why can't we go rook e7 immediately? Because some bishop h3 is hanging, is it? Or what is it there? f3 there, yeah. That's why queen c3, protecting against f3. Okay, guys, this is too hard. But the point is that after queen g5, queen c3, protecting all of this. And then the rook comes to e7. I don't say it's bad. It's probably okay. But this is really tricky over the board. Because you are risking not to find one important move that will save the game, or probably is the only move. And you will do something and you will just lose the game at once. This is easy in this type of position. Because look at white's play. They can just go king h2. They can just go rook e7. They're not risking much. All of them games probably are around equal for them. So only black is risking to miss some kind of stuff on this, you know, 8th rank, 7th rank, and so on. So let me see. Here, yeah, instead of f4, that's why I went bishop h8, creating this masterpiece of staying its pieces on the 8th rank. Let me see the chat fast, because now the tactical mess will start. Yeah, so let's see this. No, guys, I'm not going to challenge Vidit now. The point of this is that I'm doing this live session on the Caruana game, and the other time, yeah, of course, I'll talk to Vidit and do something with him. Chess-wise, we can train, play some blitz games, rapid, bullets, whatever. Not rapid, I guess, but bullets and blitz and Fisher random. Maybe we will be invited to St. Louis one day. Candidates, we will talk later. Yeah, let's finish the game. Let's see the game. A lot of it ahead. Let's see the tactical mess. So bishop h8. Queen f3. I think this is an inaccuracy. Because either the bishop had to go to h6 first, then let's say rook f7, take, and then queen f3, which would be more natural. Or the most natural way, as you know already from the analysis of this game, and certainly many of you maybe are studying the King's Indian, so they know that this is the typical way to prevent these pawn moves, is to play f4 yourself. Kind of putting some kind of stone there in front of the f5 pawn, and now it's hard to make progress here in this pawn structure. But certainly black's position shouldn't be bad at all. Let's say one of the ways here can be this e takes f4, Compi's suggestion, bishop d4 and rook b4 maybe. Nice way. With the ideas of, you know, this queen b6 check, taking this one, you know, tricky stuff. Rook b4. You know what is the best move now is knight b5. This is the tactical mess, one of many that will happen in this game. Knight b5, and then black goes some very unusual bishop e5. Because if you go, let's say after knight b5, if you go bishop d4, knight d4, and you go queen b6, and you seemingly attacking both of this, and you feel that you're winning, but you are not winning because of this. And white's position is slightly better because the knight will take on f4 somewhere. Bishop is a bit more passive, close to a draw, but with better chances for white. So after knight b5, instead of this, there is this super nice bishop e5. And then takes, some d6, rook b5, d7. Complete mess. Complete mess. Even in this position, black can go. One of the best moves is king h8, guys. Wow. Wow. This is too beautiful. Can't take it no longer. Let's see. So one of the possibilities after f4 is e takes f4. Another one is maybe to play for rook f7, exchanging this one. Position is unclear. Slightly probably better for white because of the safety of g1 king. The safety of the king is an important factor in chess. And in this case, we're having kind of trumps for black. That the bishop pair, quite aggressive pawn structure. But the king safety usually comes first. And here the king safety is in white's favor. Also there is a material, of course. The material is equal. And that's why probably black's position is estimated as slightly worse. Not much, very playable, but slightly worse. So e takes f4 probably brings the equality. Instead, Fabiano went queen f3. f4. Not thinking much when we're allowed to do this. f4. If white goes, for example, here, bishop takes f4. I remember I was thinking about it during the game. ef and rook e7. So ef, rook e7. Now, you know, it looks dangerous, but don't forget we have the bishop pair, right? So in order to protect the flank there, the king there, around this h7, g7 and all that stuff, we have, let's say, bishop e5, one of the moves. And then the next move, there's the other bishop is coming to f5. And so you can see that these two super pieces there are protecting the king's flank completely. Also, I don't know how many of you like to play with the knights and how many of you like to play with the bishops. But let's be fair, bishop is slightly better than the knight. Just maybe quarter or half a pawn, maybe. Quarter a pawn, I would say. But in different types of positions, let's say in close positions, the knights are usually better. The knights are usually better. Like completely close, you know, like where the bishop cannot move much. But in the open positions, the bishops are much stronger usually. Of course, it all depends of the exact position. Maybe somewhere knight just needs one square and the position is winning, or the attack is going on and so on. But if we take like a general picture, general scope, general chess, there you have the bishop certainly better in open positions rather than the knight. So, and the same for the close positions. In close positions, the knight is certainly usually better. So f4, now we have this kind of position that is going to be closed now as Caruana thinks. So he goes for bishop d2. Now his idea is to bring the knight to e4, probably somewhere, and kind of go around this d6 pawn maybe, coming from a5, from here, rook to c1 to c7, something like that. And he tries to implement this idea and go for this. So let's see. Yeah, he goes bishop d2. Now I went queen g5. Already it was time to play bishop f5, as I said. It's protecting the king's flank there on h7. And is also very useful on g6. When you bring this bishop on g6, first of all, it cuts half of this diagonal, maybe even most of this diagonal here. Doesn't let white really feel comfortable with a knight on e4, because it's always attacked by the bishop from g6, let's say, or f5. And you also feel safe after this bishop f5. I think I was not really happy about knight e4, but bishop g6 is the move that is very important here. And then the rook threatens to go to f5, attacking h5. And just by the feeling, the bishop is standing there very well. So this is the moment where I had to play bishop f5. Instead, I went queen g5. Now, the best move for Caruana probably was g4, making use of this pin, x-ray, whatever. So black cannot take there. And white is winning. It's clear, right? You saw it? You saw the line? Okay. Just sometimes I'm too fast, but because it seems natural and so on, but later I understand that first you have to see what's going on here. Yeah, sorry if I'm too fast sometimes. So g4, and now maybe queen g6. Same more or less, but the queen is now on the place of the bishop. The bishop had to be there, and the queen had to be more free with queen b6 moves and so on. But now the queen is there, also not bad at all, because knight is cut there on h5, but it's not standing badly. It's cut out of the rest of the fight, like it cannot come to e4, but it's not bad on h5. And this is what really was worrying Caruana at this point. Certainly it's a rapid game, it's fast here, but he had this kind of feeling in his mind that the knight can be really bad on h5, can get out of play at some point, and can become a vulnerable bad piece on h5. In fact, knight's position on h5 is very good, and it's restricting the bishop on h8 is very active. But you see here, as one of the best players in the world, he already takes into account that the knight on h5 can become really bad. So he goes knight g3. First moment, as he has the possibility, he brings the knight back into the game. This is important to remember that, I mean, how much even unconsciously sometimes, the strong players, they tend to foresee what's going to happen. So he brings the knight just in case maybe in the future the knight is standing badly on h5 and will be out of play. And he's afraid for his knight, so he's bringing it into the center. So knight g3. Queen g6. Attacking now this knight, knight g4. So immediately we can see that maybe g4 was possible, but in Caruana's mind here, the price of the knight on h5 and the price of the knight on e4 are completely two different prices for this piece. This one is kind of golden piece there on e4, protecting against the e5, e4 moves, attacking d6, and not bringing a lot of problems to the white's queen on f3 that has to protect it. So knight g4, and now I went knight g7. Tricky move. Comp still thinks that bishop f5 is the way. Let's say king h2, just bishop g7, just kind of slightly improving all of the pieces. Maybe then h5, maybe then rook b2 or something. It's a position of dynamical equality, I would say. Dynamic equality. So fine for both sides, but none of the sides, if there is no direct mistake or blunder or a lot of inaccuracies, can make a lot of progress. But position is really unclear, so anything can happen still. Okay, let's see the game further. Also, instead of bishop f5, bishop f6 is possible. These moves are possible then. So the position is kind of unclear, as I said, but I would prefer black here. Yeah, I would prefer black. But anyway, instead after knight g4, I went knight g7, because you see again, it's kind of same thinking here. I saw that his knight is coming from h5, so I'm not exchanging it with knight g7. So the knight was here. I'm not exchanging it with knight g7. But my knight on e8 is also not that great. Knight on e8 is not that great. So I'm trying to bring it into the play, into the game. And in my imagination, the knight on d4 would be kind of golden knight for me. And so that was my plan. I went knight g7. It's not the best move, but you see, I mean, it's interesting in terms of sinking. So he also did not the best move, maybe knight g3, but we both thought, I mean, maybe our knights can become bad somewhere on e8 or h5, and let's bring you to some better position. So knight g7. Of course, I completely missed that after king h2, let's say. Knight f5. There is a very strong reply with queen g4. I remember I thought about it during the game that, whoa, when I play knight f5, there is queen g4. Oh, whoa, how I'm going to protect this d6, you know? The knight is standing nicely, but how I'm going to protect the d6. And now already I have to play some bishop g7. He will take it here. Maybe first, you know, try to exchange it. Let's say kind of this. Then the pieces are coming for the d6 pawn, slightly unpleasant. And yeah, so after knight g7, king h2, I guess I should not go knight f5, some h5 or something. I don't know, bishop f5 maybe. Let me see. Yeah, the problem of h5 now is that black is already not on time too much, because g3 is coming and rook on g1. This is very nice, this king h2, probably. So king h2 maybe was refuting the whole idea of knight g7 f5. That's why bishop f5 is just better. Knight is not that bad on e8 actually. As his knight was not that bad on h5. Same, my knight on e8 is not that bad. But still, this sinking process is interesting, that it's kind of the same here. So knight g7. Rook ea1, he went, sorry. Knight g7. Rook ea1. Is the board fine there? All fine? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let me fast see the chat. We're approaching. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Yeah, regarding the stream being boring or funny, it's about chess here. And if you do not enjoy, you know, all this understanding in chess, it's another story, of course. Yeah, it's not you know, the thing. And the point is that, of course, I also prefer myself on my own, not only you guys. I also prefer to have the funny streams, talk to guys, make jokes, and roast someone or be roasted, and having fun, all of us. But this is very important, I think, for understanding the game. And yeah, and this is my profession, and I'm very interested to share the experience with you. So if you are bored, there are a lot of interesting sites, exciting sites on the net. There are a lot of social platforms, dating apps, nice movies, YouTube channels, Fall Guys, and many other games that I'm also playing sometimes from time to time. Only thing is that Samai is asking me for the Fall Guys. I'm not ready for that yet. But already, as you can see, I've started this 4-player chess. Very strange type of chess of this 4 players with half of the board cut there. With, I don't know, with this Nakamura that we played there on Anish channel. And all that. But there is also this classical chess that, you know, I've spent all of my life on. And I'm professional in. And Anish is professional in. And of course, all of the players that are there on the channels are professional in. And sometimes it's just interesting to see this. Sorry, guys. And also don't forget that a lot of people there, like young guys that are learning chess and so on, they're asking me to share some experience. So I'm very happy that they're watching, and if they can improve with this, I will be very happy as well. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, candidate story we will approach soon. So rook a1, and now I went h5. Yeah, h5. First line, by the way. h5. So if you remember, before my speech I was talking about this knight f4 and queen g4 stuff. So that's why h5, protecting against queen g4. So h5, king h2. Oh, is it necessary? Yeah, king h2 is okay. King h2, knight f5. So all of our dreams came true. The knight on e4 is good. The knight on f5 is good. Queen g4 is not possible. Now Caruana plays the strong move queen d3 to avoid any knight d4 and knight h4 stuff. Queen d3. Bishop g7, slightly improving pieces. Don't forget that all of the pieces on the 8th rank is nice, beautiful, but it can be this way. It can be great. in order to win the game, to get the advantage, to make some progress, you have to move the pieces somehow forward, yeah, to bring them in some better positions, more active positions, and so on. So that's why now bishop g7, a bit improving the bishop on h8. Of course, it was not on a great position, and maybe it can go to h6, but anyway, it's better on g7 than on h8 in any case. Also, king can go to h7, maybe some rook to g8 and something. So bishop g7. Now maybe it was nice idea for white to go rook c7, trying to play rook a7 and take the 7th rank. But maybe here I can just, I can just go rook b7, exchanging the most active rook. Takes, takes, then come back here. Again, it's a round equal, but and again, I would prefer to be playing as black because their king is more safe now. The knight h4 is in the air and f3, a lot of tricks. So still Compi says that white is slightly better, but Caruana goes for rook g1. He wants the fight there on the king's flank. Rook g1. Probably it's not too consistent because before he played rook e1, now he goes for rook g1, but change of plans is normal during the game, especially the rapid game where you act depending on your opponent's moves. And here he saw that after rook g1 he can go g3 always, which creates a very unpleasant threats on the g7 bishop and on g line. So rook g1. I already reacted here with h4, even though Compi says that knight d4 is just good. And if, let's say, there is g3, that is in white's plan after rook g1. Then just f3, kind of closing all of these threats there. And, you know, the h3 is kind of weak as well. Bishop will come to f5. Black is not having too many problems, so it's just fine. So h4 is also okay. I played h4. My idea was to go somewhere knight g3 maybe even, but the most important thing was to protect against the g3 move by white. So h4. Caruana had to go for some kind of knight b5, or maybe again change the plans here as the flank is blocked. There is not much play for black here already. Maybe rook ga1, a round equal everywhere, like dynamical equality. Instead he goes knight e2. Now in this position already, maybe it was easier for me to go knight d4. Let's say knight takes. There is some what? Rook takes g7. Is it? Rook takes g7. Queen g7. Knight takes to d6. Angel suggested slightly better for white, but in my opinion it's just an equal position. Can go to d7. Black is fine here. There is not much of a problem. So knight d4 was already called for here. Knight d4 was good. Instead, I'm thinking here about the very active rook on a7. I'm going for rook b7 to exchange it. And my idea is to completely exchange all the activity, all the active pieces, restrict the activity, just completely diminish the activity of white's pieces, and play the same ideas with knight d4, f3, attacking d5 maybe, having the bishop pair, and potentially some play on the king's flank, like, you know, somewhere maybe king h8, rook g8, some bishop f8 or bishop h6, attacking g2. That was my dream. So I played rook b7. Now Caruana had to go rook takes b7, bishop b7, and bishop b4, attacking d6. At least at some point, if you want to win a game or if you want to make some progress, you have to attack. You have to attack. So here is d6, already knight d6 is in the air, and he had to do this. Instead he goes for rook a8, and now this finally kind of tactical battle is going to start. Rook bf7, knight to c3 was possible. So as far as I understood, Compi's idea is to put the knight to c3, f3, completely block this flank, the threats to the white's king there, and just try to bring the rook and maybe the bishop and play this kind of slightly more active position. It's a round equal, fine for black, but still playable. Yeah. So let's see here. Rook bf7. Caruana goes for bishop b4 now. Instead, as I said before, he had to take on b7 then play bishop b4, but he goes for bishop b4 now. Bishop b4. And here, guys, try to think about the position. What would be your move for black? Let me just see the chat. It's a very complex position. It's really complex. And we had like minute here or 30 seconds I had, and he had maybe a few minutes. Rook d7. Yeah, very passive, but possible. Yeah. f3. Okay, if f3, then the point is that, you know, after f3, then the pawn can take on f3, and the line is opened, and there is not much play. So let's say queen h5, just rook g5. I mean, it's too good for white. There is no direct play. But f3 is nice. I see your idea. So you want some queen takes f3 and knight g3, right? With all these tricks. Yeah, but f3, the point is that there is g takes f3, and white's position is very good. So, some more guesses, but without using the engine, please. Already I see few of you said the right way there. Yeah. So the move here is knight g3. It was the best move. It's not winning because of f takes g3, but it would create an interesting position here. So knight g3. Let's say f takes g3. H takes g3, king h1. Bishop f5. Rook f8. Bishop f8, knight to c3. And now we are one piece down here, but what about this? What about this? The point is that here we go for queen h6, attacking h3. The only move now is queen f1. And now it's a very exciting position that is happening on the board, because it's a piece up for white for just what? Just one pawn. But the domination is so huge there for black that they can simply play for bishop e7, then go for rook h7, attack h3. Yeah. And the position is super dangerous for white. So to defend this, it's really hard after bishop e7. Because, you know, the threat of rook h7 and bishop h3 is very real. It's very hard to get rid of it. Rook on g1 is super passive, cannot move, and queen on f1 is always stuck there and protecting h3. So black is at least not worse. They're slightly better. And in this position, I think they're having a great chances to win the game. They're having great chances to win the game. So if, for example, the bishop, I don't know, some bishop h3 waiting move or something, then there is even bishop g4, somewhere f3 is coming. And this position is really unpleasant for white. Because the next, the king is coming to f8 and f3 is coming. So the point is that g2, h3 is hanging and the king is very close to be mated. It's somehow keepable for white. Somehow keepable. There's some knight e2, I think. Then there is some bishop c1. There are a lot of this tricky type of defenses that you have to find as white here. But, you know, this is really bad in the practical game. So I guess I would win this position if I would go for this knight g3. But instead of this, I didn't find this idea. I thought that it will be a piece up for white, and I don't see a real chance to win here, real chances to attack. And instead I went I missed this. So guys, kudos to you who found this move. And I went instead queen h6 to support this knight g3. And probably I saw this idea of bishop takes h3 after knight g3 fg, like here, like we saw here, yeah, after knight g3, king h1, and imagine my queen would be on h6, I would immediately take on h3 with the bishop and win the game. So probably that would cross my mind, and I went queen h6 to go knight g3 somewhere, and also f3 in the air from time to time. Here Caruana had to understand that all of his danger of his position is because of f3 moves. This was important to understand for him. And now he had just to go f3 himself. Protect completely. f3. The point is that my knight on f5 is not moving anymore because the 6 is hanging. And I will have to play for, as you said, some rook d7, some knight g3, some queen g6. Still playable position, but white is certainly better. They have to play for f3. Instead, Caruana goes for the very direct approach. He goes rook c1. I maybe had to go for bishop b7 and f3, as one of you mentioned there. Some of you, many of you mentioned there f3. So maybe bishop b7 was the time to attack this rook and then go for f3. Instead, I went for bishop d7. Caruana had to go here for rook ca1. This is the best move according to Compi. Still keeping pressure. The most important pressure is on d6 pawn, which really restricts the movement of my pieces. And many times the rook can just penetrate on a7, f3 can be played, and queen to a3 attacking d6. So already after rook a1 maybe I have to sacrifice this and play with the structure. Probably gf takes, some rook f8, rook a7, some bishop e8 maybe, some stuff like that. But okay, this is really complicated, it's hard to analyze and long story and not necessary. So let's see what happened. Bishop d7, he went rook a6. And of course, the first possibility to play f3, I'm playing f3. Also, this was interesting. Rook b8, knight d6, bishop d6, and bishop b5. Queen e4. Some rook e8 is possible here. Very, very unclear. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I played f3. This is the first line now. So gf is the best here. G takes f3. When my idea was to go for some knight g3, complicating the matters. Knight g3. So after fg there is rook f3 already. Yeah, queen d2, hg. Then, for example, in this type, yeah, check this. Take there, black is completely winning. So after knight g3, there is rook takes d6, but of course don't forget it's 30 seconds each or minute each or something like this around this position. So don't blame us for not finding a lot of important stuff, because look at this position. It's complete mess. Some bishop f8, bishop takes h6. There are 3 knights hanging, 4 pieces, 10 pawns, I don't know, whatever, rooks. Everything is hanging. I don't even know what's going on here. What's going on in this position. But eventually it ends in a draw. So some bishop takes h6, probably some knight takes whatever, e4, I guess. And it ends in a draw. Let me see the chat fast and we move further. Yeah. So I guess a lot of you are concentrated, focused on this. So let's see. Let's not lose the important attention that this position requires. So gf knight g3, Caruana didn't like it, I guess. He went bishop d2, attacking the queen. Queen h5. gf. And I went knight g3. This was played in the game. And now, this is an extreme mess. extreme mess. Look at this position. Imagine both players having like 1 minute or 30 seconds. And this is going on. Caruana finds the best defense. Knight g1. Very important to protect f3. Now, maybe nice way to play was knight e4, queen e4, bishop f5, then queen g6 and e4. Around equal, dynamical equality, but easier to play as black. But instead, I was also in a super sharp mood. And here, I'm thinking that I'm playing a great move. I'm playing rook takes f3. Knight f3, rook f3. So the queen is attacked. The queen f5, h3 is coming. Some knight jumps with rook takes h3 are in the air. Caruana finds the best move, rook a8 check. Bishop f8 the only way. All the rest is losing for black. Bishop f8, for example, I don't know, let's say probably king f7, some knight g5 or queen takes f3 maybe. Taking this one, winning for white. So I'm going for bishop f8. And now, guys, try to guess the best move. We had few seconds each here, but should find the best move for white. And Caruana would be on top. Something is wrong with the charger. Let's see. No, it's okay now. Yeah. So let me see your guesses. Caruana is playing as white, yeah. If you missed the whole stream. No. The move here, guys, is as simple as it can be. It's f takes g3. Very easy to miss and was missed by Caruana. F takes g3. The point is that rook takes d3. Knight f6 check. King f7, knight h5. Rook takes d2. And king g1. What I think he missed, to tell you the truth, is that, okay, this position is still very, very unclear. Probably even close to a draw. But certainly better for white. With chances to win for white, but still very, very unclear, and with chances to draw as well for black. But certainly in white's favor. And I think in his mind he just missed that h takes g3 here. It's kind of things sometimes you miss just in your calculations in the head. So he probably thought that he has to go king g2 somehow in this one. King g2. And then there's queen h3. Yeah. King f3, bishop g4. King e3, queen h6, knight g5, queen g5, king e4. And yeah, so here there are many ways. But the mating one is this, this and this. Or queen f4. So this is probably what he missed, that he after h takes g6 he can just go king g1. And let's say after bishop takes h3. Or maybe he missed that after queen takes h3 here. With the idea of queen f3, queen h2, king f1, bishop b5, and king e1, queen g1, and mating on f1. But there is an important move here, guys. A very important one. Rook takes f8. Intermezzo. Now if king takes f8, the queen takes on f3 with check. And if rook takes f8, there is queen takes g3. Takes and knight g3. And probably this is what he missed from far. What is funny is that if black takes on h3 with the bishop, there is one of the moves. There are many moves. But one of the moves after this the best move actually is rook c3, attacking this guy. And after this, just knight f6. King f7, knight h5, rook d2, probably some rook f3 check. Yeah, should be winning. This is amazing. This is really beautiful. So Caruana misses this. And he goes for bishop h6, as one of you mentioned there. Bishop h6. Knight takes c4. Now he had to go for rook f8, rook f8, rook g1, king f7, bishop f8, knight g5, and kind of drawish position. Draw. But Caruana goes for rook g1 immediately. Rook g1 check. And now the difference with this king f7 here, for example, here king f7 would just meet queen f3, rook takes f8 and takes f3. But there is king h7, very important. Queen takes e4, bishop f5. And now the position is completely winning, but the time and pressure played its role. Caruana goes for bishop f8 with seconds on the clock here for both sides. Rook takes h3, king g2, bishop takes e4, king h3. And here I make the super important mistake that cost me the half a point and probably qualification for the knockout stage of the Magnus Carlsen Chessable Masters tournament. And here, just in my mind, thinking that there is no difference in checks, I do queen f5 check, but instead queen f3 is winning nicely. King takes h4, queen takes f2 check, rook g3, queen h2 check. Now if rook h3, there is queen f4, king h5, bishop g6 mate. And if king g4, black wins here with a nice move, king g6. And white is unable to stop queen h5 threat, the mating threat. And after rook h3, let's say there's bishop f5 taking on h3, completely winning for black. This is a very bad miss. And instead I give this queen f5 check in the game. Rook g4 is now there, not king h4, because after king h4 is the same. I will just take on f2. So rook g4, queen f3, king h4, queen f2, and now not rook g3 but king g5. That's the difference, and position is drawn simply so that I mean, if I go, let's say, for this, something like that, then then there is rook a7, also rook g7 is possible, I think. But rook a7, king h8, and just this. And if black goes there, then it wins. Actually, this is mate. And the other one is winning the queen, picking up the queen on f5. Yeah, it was very, very pity after this game. I was very upset, but not for long. I'm trying, as you know, I am trying not to be upset for a long time, but still, it was very upsetting. It ended like this, yeah, queen f2. And a draw. So in this game, few things that probably some of you, we should certainly do some timestamps for the King's Indian explanations. But normally, if you want to play the King's Indian and you want to understand things about the structure, it's huge opening, huge opening. It's kind of opening like life, you know, it's as big as that. But certainly for the understanding, you have to see a lot of moments here with all this, you know, the pawn structural stuff and so on. So you should get back to it, I think. And just see the middle game and see how the both players play this type of position. It doesn't matter that it's not exactly what Compi suggests or the engine moves and so on. And it's a good quality game. with mistakes, of course, even blunders at the end of the game, but with the seconds on the clock. But certainly you have to see a lot of games like this and a lot of analysis like this to understand the structure. Then play yourself, see how hard it is to handle the position. Because, for example, while I'm watching some kind of like tennis matches, like Roland Garros, and I was playing tennis for like 5-7 years in a row, like on amateur level, of course, but still not that bad. And just to be in a better physical shape. And then when you see the tennis match or the football match or any other sports, like professional sports, and in this case it's like one of the openings of one of the games, like chess, and there you see that people are like mastering this, and okay, every move seems natural. Then you put the engine, it supports you, suggests you, yeah, of course, why not this, why not bishop h8, why he did, oh yeah, very simple, knight f6 or f5, or yeah, of course, b takes a4 and then a5, f5, let's say. But when you go to the game and you play the game yourself on the chess.com, Chess24, or Lichess, or wherever you are playing, or over the board chess, then the same as when you are watching the huge sports events and the professional sport events, you see that, oh, it's so easy with this racket. They're hitting the ball so nicely, or they're passing, or they're making tricks like football tricks and so on, so easily, so nice. But try to perform it live, and it's very hard. So the point is that to master this, you have to watch a lot of stuff like this, and also to practice. So with the King's Indian, as any other opening in the world, but especially this one, it's very hard to handle. But once you master it, it becomes a very, very, very strong weapon in your hands. So in that case, I have convinced already, I think, a lot of friends of Samai to try this. And hopefully Samai himself, he will play a lot of King's Indians. I think he's playing some already. That's why I really think that, it differs a lot when you see the games of the players that already mastered the opening and when you have to master it. There are a lot of things and tricks you will learn throughout the way, but the King's Indian is a very exciting way in chess, to master your game, tactical skills, strategical understanding, getting into the trouble, getting out of this trouble with a lot of nice ideas and tactical shots. And why I also love this opening is that, you can be lost there, you can stand badly there, you can have a smashing play by white on the queen's flank, but you are like always in the game. There is always some trick. There is always, till the end of the game, white should be in the full control to win the game. Once they relax, they can get a lot of tricks and a lot of attack directly at their king. And that's why I guess really if you're a tactical player, also if you're a strategical player, it's a very strategical opening as well. I mean, you should try to master it. I will try to make as much as possible in the King's Indian, as well as I will try to, if there are events online and so on, I will try to implement it from time to time. It's not always pleasant when you're implementing it against a prepared opponent, but still I will try to do that. So guys, let's do it together, and let's not only grow the game, but grow the King's Indian, because certainly on the club level, it's an amazing opening, and up to the very high level, it's a great opening. And I'm humbly trying to even play it on the very, very highest level against everyone, including the world champion. And you can see in the videos, there's a game, me against Carlsen, where I won in the King's Indian as black. And yeah, so let's grow this opening and grow the game, of course. So for the news, Atarva Patil is asking, probably some players, some people just joined right now, or yeah. So there was a new news. There were different news, but the most important news is that I'm launching the Chess Academy, online Chess Academy for now, with ambition to launch the physical Chess Academy in Baku, Azerbaijan, and later in one other city to make it more international. And so the most important is for me, of course, physical academy is to launch it in Baku, Azerbaijan, because I mean I've spent my life career here. Azerbaijan gave me everything to become a great chess player, and a lot of support. the fan base, you know, everyone was supporting, cheering me up, and the people, they love me here, and I really feel that, the fans and everyone. So that would be nice for me. And also, of course, I want to you know, to help the talents, because a lot of talents, they do not have the access to the you know, to the, I would say, the greatest chess education possible, in terms of like great coaches and all that stuff. And especially in these times, it's very hard. I don't even know how to train for many of them. Let's say I'm experienced, Anish is experienced, and other top players are experienced, working in different conditions. But for the young player, you need to practice, you need to play in tournaments. You are studying at home, but then you're coming, the practice is very different than the real game. You have to play against the opponents, you have to try the openings, you have to master your tactics, strategical vision, and all that through the practical play. And now there is not. And so you're a youngster, you're at home, and you don't know what you are doing. I mean, you don't know if it's successful, your analysis. You don't know if it's efficient. You don't know how to improve. You don't know it, because it also comes with the experience and what kind of stuff you should work on. You work some opening line, you think that everything is fine, and in 1 week, if you go to play it in the tournament, and I'm not talking about a few months, as more, that probably even half a year more, even more before the OTB events. And then they will come there, and then they will see that all of their chess analysis are irrelevant. They do not remember anything. They do not practice it. So they didn't practice it. So they don't feel it. And they will just forget most of their analysis. And they will again reconsider the work that they were doing. When you're live, when you have a lot of tournaments, you can reconsider after each tournament, and it's easier because there is practice. Without the practice, it's very hard. So my ambition would be to kind of give them this kind of experience at some point, and make them work the right way, as far as I understand it. I don't know, maybe Carlsen does completely different stuff, but most of the players on the top level, they do more or less the same work. And this is the work I know you should do on the high level, and for the youngsters it will be important. So I will see maybe how to deal on the basis on the academy with the players, with the talents also, in Azerbaijan, of course, first of all, and worldwide as well, and see how can I put them on some of the sessions completely free, so that they can learn from the best experience of the coaches in the world, and also on the master classes and so on. So we'll try to do that. Hopefully this whole idea works. For the moment, it's more idea that comes to life, and I'm not sure what will happen afterwards. But it's the same as with YouTube. I didn't know what will happen, but finally I have you, all of you guys there, and I'm so happy about it. So I hope that same goes with the academy. It's completely unknown territory for me. I'm not a coach at all, and I will probably not coach there at all. I mean, I will mostly make some master classes together with some other top GMs. But it will be master classes on my side, not the coaching work, because I don't think I'm a great coach, first of all. But beside that, I'm a professional chess player. So going from the professional chess player to the coach level for me is now I don't think it's a necessary thing. I want to keep my ambitions for fighting for the world's top spot positions, and so it's not time for me to become the coach, but certainly it's time, I think, for all of us to share the experience. And this I can do through the master classes, and the really professional coaches. Professional coaches can do the really professional coaching, helping the youngsters and all other players of different levels to become better in chess. So on basis of the academy, I will see a lot of ideas how to make it good for the youngsters and so on. So this is about it. About the accounts on 3 months premium memberships of Chess24, they have to write me, they have to confirm for the other 8 accounts, but 40 was already added. I have the list, I'll publish it in the community post. And for the academy, I will also, I think, publish the community post with the site together once it's ready in a few days, I guess. The candidates, they have announced it. It will be played on the 1st November, as they say, in Yekaterinburg or in Tbilisi, in case Yekaterinburg doesn't work or they have problems with the epidemiological situation. I have no idea, but for the moment, Yekaterinburg is announced, and Yekaterinburg is the venue. for the 1st November. The 8th round will be played. You know that I think it's a very strange way to conduct a tournament. On these two parts, it was much easier to simply move the event, not get me out of that event, because I mean, all of my concerns were about this COVID situation, and that's why they have delayed the tournament, and that's why they couldn't finish the candidates properly. So I think it was a huge mistake by FIDE. Certainly, there is no doubt about it. If they're accepting it or not accepting it, clearly it's a mistake. But for now, the situation with FIDE is that they have to come up with some decision regarding me, and they have to talk first. I shouldn't talk first about this, as it should be. I think they have to talk first about the decisions they take there, and I hope that it will resolve in a positive way. I have all the feeling that it will, and certainly let's wait for them to announce anything, and then we'll be clear on what's going on with all this situation. But I'm sure it will be resolved in a more or less positive way for everyone. So yeah, so keeping hopes on that and waiting for their decision, announcement, and clarification of the entire situation. And yeah, of course, I want a spot for not only me, but of course for the country, for Azerbaijan, to be represented there by hopefully me, and by hopefully, of course, one of the Azerbaijani players. And first of all, here comes to mind the Shahryar. I hope that he qualifies for the next candidates, and the situation hopefully will be resolved. And yeah, but let's wait for FIDE's announcements, the venues and everything, and let's see what's going on to happen. They should talk first. I shouldn't. They are the official federation of chess, and they should make the announcements on this. And yeah, I think that would be a proper way. So when the match will be played is another story, right? As well, because is Magnus ready to play the match in this situation as now? Is he ready to play, for example, with the glass between the players? Will they play like this? Will they play the candidates with the glass like between the players? Is it the way that they are going to play? I don't know. I don't have any idea. I've seen the tournaments are played like this right now, but really hard situation for now. Really hard. And chess is under huge pressure because there is no OTB, but there are probably all other sports as well. I've seen Cristiano Ronaldo saying that playing without the crowd is really bad. He feels really sad about it and thinks that hopefully everything is back again on track. Because nowadays, I don't know, it really doesn't. I'm not even watching any events, even US Open that I was watching all the time. I'm not watching it because they're playing without the crowd. I cannot watch it. Just simply can't. It's completely different experience. And yeah, so let's see and wait for their decision. Let's see first what happens with these candidates. Let's see what happens next with my spot in the candidates. And hopefully will be good. Anyway, on my own, I'm working chess, preparing, doing some other stuff. And as you can see, beside the YouTube, of course, trying to launch this academy and do some good stuff during this times. Hopefully we're all good and set to go for the next challenges ahead. But I will be very happy. I would be very happy to play in the candidates, of course. Yes. So what else? What else? Also, I ask you when I will publish the 40 nicknames there, to which premium membership was added. Please let me know if it worked. I will do it hopefully tonight or maxi tomorrow, I think. It depends on the Chess24 reply. Also, there is this Chess24 Magnus Carlsen chess tour for this year and next year. I think going to be fully announced soon. Everybody is in negotiating process, I guess, and hopefully this will be a tremendous thing for chess. I think he did great stuff. Magnus and Chess24, the entire company, they did a lot. That we had this tour during these times. Otherwise, without watching the tournaments and all this online chess and the online events and our streams, would be super sad. Super sad times. Okay, guys. So I think that we're done for this session. I think it was a good analysis of my game against Caruana. I will appear much more as usual, and had some break, had some things, going on, and business related, and so had to solve a lot of things there. There was one huge problem. Now it's all good, fine, ready to be back fully into chess and into streams. So hopefully we'll be there with all of our Wolf Pack, the friends, Sagar, Samai, AD. I'm not mentioning Giri and Vidit, of course. So press likes, hit the bell to be notified about the further streams, and of course comment, because comments, there are so many of them now, it's so hard to read, but I'm trying to read most of them and see where I can improve, where I can do something else, and we'll certainly try to find some other ideas for the streams as well. Nowadays I'm more free to do that, and happily working chess, and of course we'll get a lot of ideas what to do on the streams as well. We have this tournament in St. Louis that is coming up, so we'll check out the times and maybe we'll stream this event as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I've seen a lot of their messages on Instagram, in in the comments, and on Twitter, everywhere. So thank you so much, and thank you for your support, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye, my friends. Thank you so much.